in Pontiac. Take a look at that. Police say 3 children were inside this apartment when a 36-year-old woman crashed her truck through the front door and front windows. Witnesses say moments later, the woman tried to run away with her dog.
Her and the dog hop out, they take off running. Whole neighborhood's outside, we're all seeing it. We're standing in the grass that she literally drove in. You can see the marks on the ground.
Police are waiting for the results of a toxicology test before seeking charges. The 13-year-old girl and 2 10-year-old boys who were inside the home suffered minor injuries when they broke out another window to escape because there was no other way out of that apartment. All right, we're taking you to that virtual press conference we mentioned just a bit ago. It's happening right now. Let's listen in together.
Thanks for joining us. Today is kind of a monumental day to seek justice for Dee Warner and her family. Dee was murdered by Dale Warner back in April 24th of 2021. And with us today, we have the siblings, the offsprings of Dee. We have TJ, Raquel, Zach, and Amber. Hopefully this day can move us closer so they can get closure, so they can find some justice for their mother. This has been a long slog for quite some time. We respect the privacy of the family and respect everything the media has done to have them remain private to the extent that they can. Just a little background and introduction of who we have with us. My associates in the firm, Kate Kobliak and Alexa Otto, also with us remotely, a very big part of the team, and great lawyer Ariel Berger. Also spearheading part of this case, Chuck Bullock, who is a representative of the family, who has put together the time and energy to basically take this case through probate, part of it, and Dee's brother, Greg, who's with us as well. So, little backdrop, the waste of what has happened in this case. We had to go through what is called a declaration of death trial. Dee was missing, the body was missing, all during that time frame. Dale knew where the body was, knew how he strangled her. We had to have a judge and a trial to show that she in fact was dead and not just missing. The Judge Sala, found in our favor after a lengthy trial, and an avalanche of evidence showed that the only one that would stand to merit from her missing and death would be that of Dale. She put that in her opinion. Law enforcement worked with us on that case. They testified in that case. After that, subsequent to that, the prosecutor's office issued murder charges, open murder charges against Dale. Held a preliminary exam without a body. That's a very difficult task to do. They did it and presented enough evidence, probable cause to show that she was murdered and probable cause to show that Dale did it. After that, the judge found that there was enough to go to trial. Subsequent to that, pending the trial, Dee's body was found. She was found in a container, a fertilizer container. The property is owned by Dale, and where he had basically took a welding apparatus, opened up this container, put her in there, and hid her for law enforcement, for no one to find. He wasted all that time and that energy and all that money that was spent on the trial for the declaration of death. From there, knowing full well that she was dead. So today we filed this lawsuit. There's money that is still being used and spent by Dale that should be given to the offspring, should be given to the family. We're talking 7 figures. That money should not go to a killer. That money should not go to his family. That money should go to the offspring. And that's why this lawsuit is being filed. It was filed today by Ariel in her office through us, and currently is now getting ready to set off in the status conference of that. So that being said, this is the civil side. The criminal side, there's a trial that's going to come up in September. The civil side, hopefully we can move this quickly so that the funds that are still outstanding and still being controlled by Dale can go to the proper parties, and that being the offspring. I open this up for any questions.
Thank you, Todd. So we'll now take questions from media. Please feel free to submit your questions with your name and outlet using the chat feature on Zoom. First question. Is Dale currently in jail?
Yes.
When will this go to trial?
Which one? The criminal trial is set for September. I suspect this case will be resolved hopefully within a year's time.
From Michael Sandlin. How is it determined this money belongs to the kids rather than Dale?
A wrongful death case. So he was the proximate cause of the homicide of his wife. So that is, in anyone's case, in a civil setting, you kill somebody, it's a wrongful death lawsuit. The funds belong to the offspring, to the inheritance of these children.
From David Patch at The Blade. In what court is the civil lawsuit filed?
In the circuit court.
From Jordan Pear at MLive. Can you be more specific about the amount of money?
So we're going to sue for $100 million. We don't know exactly how much money Dale has at this time. We know it's over 7 figures. We also know that there was a conversion of property that we believe that took place, that we're trying to find the funds and assets of that conversion. So this is going to be an ongoing process. We'll work closely with Chuck Bullock. That's his expertise, that's his lane, and we'll help with that.
From Brian Vish at WLEN, apologies. Do you have any comment on the stepson's charges being dropped?
I'm confident that those charges will probably come back. Other than that, law enforcement has done, the work that they have to do. Just because they were dismissed prior to a preliminary exam, there's no jeopardy. There's no jeopardy that's attached. So let's make it clear. That doesn't mean he's out in the free and clear. Just simply means prior to the preliminary exam, they dismissed the case, but have the ability to reissue it.
From Sarah Michaels. Have you heard if Dale's son will testify against Dale?
No, I haven't heard that. There hasn't been any mention of that. A lot of people have speculated about that. That's nothing that we have heard of at this time.
From David Patch at The Blade. Do you know who the missing witness is in Jaren's case?
No, and so everyone knows that the fact of the matter is law enforcement, they're not free to speak about their hand at all the times, especially in ongoing investigation. I don't need that missing witness in my case. My case is really quite clear. We have more than enough evidence. We have an avalanche of evidence. The case was already bound over for trial in the criminal case. You got to remember, in a civil case, I just have to show by a preponderance of the evidence that he killed his wife.
Thank you. We are continuing to take questions in the chat. Please submit your questions with your name and your outlet. Another question, is there now a freeze on funds to restrict Dale or his family having access to accounts?
Yes, so we've given notice that there is not to be any spendthrift or spending of any money that right now is currently held by the estate that would go to Dale. So we'll be in court with that along with Chuck Bullock.
Continuing to take questions in the chat. New question, will they be responsible for paying back the estate?
So we're going to be seeking all the cost and the waste of money. That's going to be part of this in the wrongful death. Just think about the fact that there was such a long waste of time and money and effort spent on the declaration of death trial. So to the extent that we can get costs and expenses, for sure we will be seeking that.
From David Patch at The Blade, has an initial hearing date been set for the civil case?
No, the case was just filed today. So the very first thing that will happen is we will serve Dale in the jail. He'll get that civil lawsuit. He'll have 21 days to respond, or 28 days if it's done by mail. We're going to have it done personal service. He'll have 21 days to respond. From there, a court will be setting up a status conference and a scheduling order to show us basically the calendar and diary of how we have to follow the procedures within the circuit court.
From Jordan Pear at MLive, does Dee's family plan to use this money for legal fees, general living expenses, or something else?
No, this money is legal fees. There are no legal fees in this case. We do everything on a contingency base. There are no legal fees for this from this aspect. So this money is to be inherited properly so through the estate and to the children.
From David Patch at The Blade, how much have you calculated was spent on the declaration of death trial?
That's a great question. Well into six figures.
We'll continue to take a few more questions here from the audience. Let's see. Are there other defendants being considered who may be added to the lawsuit?
Yes.
Can you share any more on that at this time?
At this time, I can't share their names.
Can you say how many?
Two.
All right, we'll take a few more questions from our participants. If you have a question, please submit it now. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. This now concludes the press conference. Please reach out to Amy at nearperfectmedia.com or Chloe at chloenearperfectmedia.com with any questions or one-on-one interview requests. I will drop our contact details into the chat momentarily. A recording of this press conference, as well as a copy of the complaint, will be shared with all attendees following the close of the press conference. Thank you for your time.